And now, from Glasgow.
So hello there, welcome to this week's video for the ET. It is new pack day, and we received issues 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I've decided I'm going to do a triple episode this week, starting with issue 21. So let's start with the parts count as always. Not an awful lot of parts, but they're good quality parts. I have absolutely no grumbles with what we've received in this part pack. We have part 2101, which is the waist structure, and then we have 2102, which is the waist connection plate. And what we're going to be doing this week is we're taking, I've got to work out the orientation now, so just bear with me, I've just had an invasion. Okay, so my apologies for that. So what we're going to be doing is we have this connection plate and it's going to go in like that and it's going to get screwed in. I think the easiest way to deal with this will be to just pop the two screws in. I might need to use a screwdriver just to help manipulate it. We'll pop that screw in there. It is really tricky. There we go, one in there. So we get the two screws in first. And then what we'll do is we'll bring the plate to the screws and we'll screw a little bit on each side just to make sure that plate stays level. So we'll just pop that in there like so. Give that a few turns just until it connects, and then we'll line this second one up and then we'll give that a few screws, and you'll see that it's connected but it's not tight yet. And we'll just give a couple of screws, couple of turns on the screw, and then just go to the other screw and then just go backwards and forwards just to stop those from ringing. We'll try and keep it level as we screw it in, and that one's gone in. Remember, it's going into plastic, so we'll let the screw tell us when it's in enough. There's not a lot of movement there, so I'm happy with that one. Right guys, so that is the end of actually stage 21. So we'll move on to stage 22. And this is the waist 2 and abdominal structure. And you see we've got a lot more to do on this one. Oh, these screws can be confusing. Right, so we have two main parts. And we have got whatever this is. So this is 2201, the waist structure. This seems to look the same as this piece from the previous issue. And then we've got the abdominal structural joint. Now we've got two kinds of screws, and it doesn't tell us much about them. It just says two PTPB screws and two PTP screws. Now I'm looking at the magazine quite closely, and it looks to me like the TPB screws are ever so slightly longer than the TP. So I'm going to call that, guys. And as you can see, let's take these screws out and then take these screws out. And you can see that there's one screw that's just ever so slightly longer than the other. So I'm going to call this as TPB and that one as PTP. And what we're going to do, same as last week, we're just going to join that second one up. So what I'm going to suggest is using our PTP screws, which is the same as the previous issue. I keep saying last week, but of course I've done it just now on this video. Right, so exactly the same as before. We'll get those screws in there. That really does not want to go in. Okay. and then we'll bring this support structure to the screw like that, and we'll just give that a couple of turns. That's not going in. Lovely. No, that's not gone in. There we go. And then we'll bring the other side to the screw, and we'll just get that going in there. That really does not want to go. Whether that's me coming at the wrong angle or the screws aren't playing ball, I don't know. There we go. And then just like the previous stage, we'll just do a little bit on each side, and then a little bit on that side, and then a little bit on this side, until they're both fully tightened in. Okay, I think I've gone that in at slightly wrong angle, but that's in nice and tight. Right, so now that is in, we have one more extra step to do, and what we're going to do is we're bringing this piece in, and that's actually going to be going in like so. That's rather interesting. So you've got a little bit of manipulation to get that into there, but I think it will definitely go. And this is actually really nice. This is going to make a nice solid structure. So when we made the legs before, you know, we're only screwing bits of plastic, but they're going together really well because there's plenty of connection points. Right, so that is in. So I'm going to double check that that is in correct. I think that is. So we'll pop one screw in on that side, and again I'm going to do my usual trick, and I'm only going to screw it in just enough to bite, and that will then hold that piece in. This is, I don't know if it's my screwdriver, I'm having a bit of a struggle. Right, and then we'll just come in on the other side. Now the question I have, is this supposed to move? So let me just screw that in till it starts to go. That's in. There we go. So I can get that to move. If I screwed that in tighter, it won't move. But I suspect there's something going in on that side, and then that will get joined, and it'll probably end up solid anyway. However, that is that stage done, and that looks correct to me. And just with a few pieces, that's really solid. So I'll say this is joined by 2 screws, which is quite weak. This is then joined by 2 screws, which is fairly weak. And now that we've put this piece in, it's starting to get really strong. By the time we get this in, it's going to be very strong. So, talking about doing the next bit, let's do the 3rd stage of this particular build, which is stage 23. And we've got just the 2 screws this issue, but we've got plenty of parts. Right, so we have got, just like the previous issue, we've got this part 2301, which is called the abdominal structural plate, but now we also have these 2 pieces, which are called cable guiding structures, and then we have 2 PTBB screws. So what's happening now, this is quite interesting. We are going to be putting those into there. So you see we've got some octagonal bits, and they're just going to go straight into there. Now I notice it's got these same pieces on these ones, but it's not telling us to put them into this one, which I find interesting. So obviously the question I've got now is there going to be something coming in a future issue? At this stage, I don't know. So, just like previous issue, we are going to pop this in there, like so, and it's more difficult now because it's been joined there, so it's giving it a little bit of a strong structure. So I suppose if you do struggle, which I haven't, I have got this in, but if you do struggle a bit, maybe just loosen these two screws off, get that in, and then tighten them up again. But as you see, I've not had a problem. And we're going to pop that screw in, and just like before, what I plan to do is just pop that in just until it bites, so that's not going to fall out there. And then we'll do the other side, and we'll get that screwed in. In it goes, and I'm just going to go until it stops. It's quite a lot of screwing to go in. It's either got a very high thread count or it's got a long way to go in, as you can see. I'm just glad I've got my ratchet screwdriver. Right, there we go. So that's in place. That is 3 issues complete. That's not too bad, is it? I don't think there's an awful lot to complain about those 3 issues. But that is the end of stages 21, 22 and 23. I hope that you will join me next fortnight. Remember, these are coming out fortnightly, when I will be doing 3 more issues. And then after that, it'll be a new pack. How exciting is that? Right, so there you go, guys. You take care. Have a wonderful fortnight. Bye-bye.